My nose running. Got my shades open. It's a whole skyline in the city's right in front of my face. Yeah. I'm in a zone this year, it's all fire. Nigga, check my attire. Your worst fears confirmed. Your reign at the top expires this year. No application, I'm higher this year. This in dedication to that bitch to slash my nigga tires. Oh yeah, I knew about you. Bitch, I knew about you. Came up on a good nigga and he ain't have a clue about you. Try to tell the nigga. Don't trust that bitch as far as you can smell a nigga. But you live and you learn. On this road, the richest niggas bound to miss a few turns. Don't let the bridges that you cross turn into.
Yo, what's good? What's good, C? What's good, Eric? What's good, Z? And if Albert's still here, what's good? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 sec. Let me take this off. Boom, got that. We about to peep the Discord today, by the way. We about to peep the Discord today, by the way. Today is Discord day. Today is Discord day. I told y'all last week. I told y'all actually on Friday. I'm gonna peep the Discord today. So if y'all drop anything in the Discord, I'm gonna go over it today. And of course, if y'all got questions while I do this breakdown, while I'm talking right now as I speak, make sure you drop that right now. At the top of the chat, I just pinned the Patreon and I pinned the Discord. Discord is the second link, or second link. It's a second link. So if you want to go ahead and join the Discord, send your film in, send in whatever clips you got. I don't know what it is, but it could be game film, it could be jumping clips, because I can help y'all improve y'all jumping technique so y'all can get y'all vert up. And speaking of vert, I need to tell y'all about my progress a little later. But if y'all got any clips, any questions, send in the Discord right now ASAP. Send it in there ASAP. So, oh, what's good? Hybius was good. Ricky, missed last stream, had pickup runs. Hey, if you miss a stream so you could go hoop and get better, by any means, you got to do what you got to do. You got to have to do what you got to do. What's good, Anthony? What's good? What's good? But by the way, the Nuggets Wolves series, Let me talk about the series for a second. Let me talk about the series in itself for a second. So, before we even talk about Game 4 in itself, let's go back to Game 2, right? And not just about the game plan and the style of play. I want to talk particularly about, let me pause the music right quick. Sorry, I had to put a pause on Cole right quick. But let's not even talk about the style of play and the game plan. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about fans and how we perceive that after Game 2, right? You're like 0-2. You just stole 2 on the road. You about to go back home. Oh, they about to get swept. Or maybe 5 game series. Gentleman sweep. That's what we was thinking. That's what I was low-key thinking. And we all got in over our heads because this is playoff basketball, first and foremost. This is playoff basketball. And so that means that teams are not just going to just lay down and die. Lay down and get cooked, get killed. Right? Especially like a team like Denver. It was, for me, the way I seen it, it was like, Denver hasn't really gotten punched in the face thus far in the past couple of seasons. Like last year, their run was a breeze. Played the Lakers again first round, shit was a breeze. But now they're down 0-2. And now we got to really see how resilient they are as a team, right? Not even just from a Jokic and Murray thing, but from a coaching perspective as well. And being able to make these little chess moves within the course of a series. Because the one move they did make, Aaron Gordon, that was an X factor. That's an X factor. That's going to change the series. So, yeah, it's extremely interesting to see that. So, like, it's right back to 2-2. Best of 3 at this point. I ain't gonna lie, this shit gotta go 7. This shit going 7, bro. I think this shit going 7 without a doubt. Let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think about the series? Colorado sports greater than Florida sports. In your dreams, Z, you wish. Like, you wish. You wish. Z, you absolutely wish. You wish Colorado sports is better than Florida sports. Even if y'all got Dion. We got all the prospects. Fuck you talking about. Good joke. We got Orlando. Good joke. Denver wasn't prepared for that punch. Denver wasn't to start, but then they're like, oh, this is how they coming. Especially Game 2. And it's low-key really funny. It's really funny because when you look at how Minnesota won their first 2 games and how Denver then won their next 2 games, it was just how Minnesota won their first 2 games. They had a game that was won by 10 to 12, right? On the brink of single digits. and then they had another game where they just cooked them. They whooped their ass, right? Like just blowout game. And Denver had the same thing. They blew out Minnesota game 3. And they came back game 4. It was a little closer, but not that competitive. And I think these next 3 games going forward is when the series really does start. Meaning that we're not going to just see a blowout victory and a team win by 10, 15 the whole time. Like, I think these shit's going to get down to the wire. Like, I think these are going to be some close games. Every single one of them are going to be games where it boils down to a possession. One possession contains the entire game. It could do the same thing prior to with these other games, but when I say a single possession, I'm talking like the margin of victory is going to be like 2 plus 2.5. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's got to be the difference for the point differential for betting or some shit. So, thank you, Orlando, for giving us a Gordon. The thing about AG, when he was in Orlando, he wasn't really doing anything for us. So, like, we're in the spot where it's like, oh, he should be the star, but he's not really a star player. And it's just like, we don't have the pieces to where he could complement anybody. So he was just stuck in a spot to where he would be wasting time if he stayed here. So he's just, the type of player we needed wasn't what Aaron Gordon was. So it was like, okay, now we got to get off of that. And now we got Paulo. So I am thankful for the fact we gave y'all AG, because now we got Paulo, who is better than AG. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. I think the Wolves' offense is going to lose them this series. Their defense is going to have to win them this series. Their defense is going to have to win them the series. And Ant scoring 40 a game, it might have to continue. But I think where they really did lose game 4, though, was Cat. Cat was bricks, and it was ugly. Especially like in that first quarter. It was ugly. I'm like, bro, you got Michael Porter Jr. on you. Get to your hook. Get to your hook. He can't guard it. He can't guard in the post. He's going to try to show you a body. They're probably going to still guard him single coverage. Space the floor the right way so it makes it harder for them to send a double. And they're only going to bait, right? Like put Ant one pass away or some shit like that. Someone who can knock down that shot. And then boom, get to your shit. Play in the paint. Don't face up. Don't do none of that. Put your shoulder down. Turn your back. Get busy. He should have been doing that the whole time, because when he did, he got good looks. He was able to drop, step, boom, spin, hook with the right. Don't matter. Right. Don't use the left. Just like Jokic. Jokic don't use his left hand, and that's a fact. Jokic go left, shoot with the right. He turn over right shoulder, shoot with the right. He gonna fade. If he turn over his right shoulder, he gonna fade with the right. He gonna fade, take a fade, he jumper with the right. If he turn over his left shoulder, he gonna hook with the right. Every time, bro. Every time. So, appreciate that great content. Hey, no problem, Z. It's my pleasure. Where you from? I'm from Orlando, Gordon. I'm from Orlando. Why? What's up? But yesterday I was playing pickup and I wasn't even aware of what to do because everyone was everywhere. So, how do I even gain a bag? Or you said since everybody was everywhere, you had nothing to do. Then tell people where to go. You get the ball, you say, yo, you go there, yo, go there, yo, go there, you go there. All 4 call-outs right there. Maybe 3, because one person might already be where they need to, or 2 people. But you tell about 2 people, because everyone's probably standing along the wings. Tell one person, get to the corner. Other person, get to the corner. Tell person on another wing, all right, boom, stay spaced out. Boom, someone else gets to the baseline. Boom, and then you got a lot more space. Like, you could literally just grab the ball and tell people where to go, especially in the pickup game. And I think you'll overlook the fact that you don't think people will listen, but yes, the fuck they will. Yeah, they'll listen. If you command them to do something when you have the ball in your hand, they're gonna do it. Trust. Just space the floor out. Let me go, and then when you get it, I'll space it out so you could go. It's all gonna come back around full circle. It's all gonna be cyclical. So you just gotta tell people where to go. Simple as make sure someone's in both corners, both wings, maybe at top of the key, or get someone along that baseline, that dunker area, or whatever. Depends who you're playing with. So at that point, you should have more. You should have enough space to do what you need to. So, or you could overload a side and then go use the other way so you have space. It just all boils down to space. You can have 4 people to your left and you're on the right wing, like Jokic was doing game 4 last night. Or you could have 4 people to your right side, or you could do a three to this side, 1 on this side, Just depends. Depends on what you're trying to get to. Depends on what you're trying to even work on. So let me take that off there. Make sure we straight on this. And we about to get into the Discord. Also think I need better handles to get by my defender. Well, it seems like you already know what to work on. Seems like what you already need to do. Start dribbling, my guy. Start dribbling, my guy. All you got to do is just start dribbling. Start dribbling. I promise you, let me say this. Whatchamacallit? Not doing drills at this point for most of y'all will probably be most beneficial for y'all skill growth and y'all development. I definitely think that, because you probably already done drills for so long. You never just went outside and just dribbled without a necessary agenda. You just dribble and be free with it. So how do you get by a defender? There's so many ways I can answer that question that it's like you need to be a lot more specific. I could literally, if you want to keep it that simple, I could just tell you, you got to get in front. You got to get past them. How do you get by them? You get past them. You make a move, you get quicker than they are, and you get past them. You know what I'm saying? Getting to the spots way easier. I also think that when it came down to Jamal Murray and the overall dynamic of the game from start to finish, where he did get clouded and where he did get rushed and out of his game and out of his pace was when Jokic was off the floor. But in this last game, I didn't get to watch game 3, but I know in this last game that Aaron Gordon, when he was on the floor with Jamal Murray, he was the focal point of the offense. Murray was chilling, and he didn't have to worry about getting pressure and seeing 2 every single time because AG was being aggressive. He was the one making plays. And so that took a lot of pressure off of Jamal Murray from when he's just in the game by himself. And so by the time Jokic may come back, none of that is carrying over. None of that is following him to when he's playing with Jokic. Now he's not getting to what he wants. I think if Minnesota does really want a good opportunity to then limit that action, you're going to have to put Ant back on Jamal Murray and do that full time. Ant is the best defender on Jamal Murray I've seen thus far because he has the speed, he has length, and he has the size. You got Jaden McDaniels, who he does have the speed, he does have length, but he's not as big. Jaden McDaniels is probably like 220, right? He plays more so with his length, with his, with his arms and whatnot, and he's going to bother you and just take up your space. But Ant will do that same thing and also be extremely physical, and you're going to try to bump him off and match his physicality, but he's just too strong. Like he's just too big. Like Ant's like 235. So like the size he has, and if Jamal Murray tries to, all right, boom, let me try to bump him off, let me try to get him off of me, it's gonna be a lot harder than it would be with the McDaniels, because McDaniels is already playing with some space, right? Ant plays a little more physical, plays more into your body. He's gonna get up into you, trying to force you to be rushed. But ultimately, he's going to be able to beat you to the spot. He's going to stay physical. He's going to be able to remain low. And then, like, all those things, he bothers him way more than I think Jaden McDaniels. So, but it is tough when you have to go drop 40, 45 on one end and go guard Jamal Murray. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, though. Maybe like a half the game type of thing. But I do not like Mike Conley on Jamal Murray. I do not like that. You should only keep it between Jaden McDaniels and Ant. And then allow Mike Conley to be off the ball, do his little Roman shit, make his call outs, be the coach off the ball, tell people where to go, step over, all this stuff. I see him doing that in games 1 and 2, and I was like, yo, that's overlooked. He was making a lot of those plays. And so you put him on KCP, it's going to help a shit ton. And he was able to help orchestrate double teams to where you got Cat coming from one side or Rudy or some shit, and then you send those 2 over, you got to pass over length, and you got to make sure that you just get back in rotation, so now the ball is in the air for longer. I liked when he was off the ball a little more. But that's just me, though. That's how I see it. Oh, what's good, P? Like they both legs pointed at you and facing you if they're squared. That's something as to which it's like you. It's a tough way to answer that question because it's so broad and it could be answered so basic, but it's not. How simple it really is not even like a way as to which I could describe it. Like, oh, how do I get past him? It just boils down to speed and pace. Ultimately, it boils down to speed and pace. So, like, if you're able to get that first step, essentially, and be able to manipulate the defender's pace to where they're reacting a little late to you, and also it's going to be something that varies between whoever's in front of you. Like, is trying to get by the thing as to which I even need to use, right? Who is guarding me? What's the speed like? It's all going to change. What's their length like? What's the spacing of the floor like? Right? So, like, there's going to be so many things that are going to change from situation to situation. And it's too difficult for me to say do this one thing every single time and you'll get past them, because that's bait. You know what I'm saying? That's not really true. You can't get past everybody the same exact way. But there's certain things you could look for that could guide you to getting past somebody. And so if there's anything I would say to help you get past anybody, like, oh, what's one thing I could do to get by my defender? Seek space and actually read the help instead of just watching your defender. So you know where you want to go and not just where you are, right? So if depending on the way the court is spaced out, where the help defense is and how much room you have to turn the corner, boom, you could go there, right? Read the feet, but the thing is, you read the feet, you attack the top foot, and then you could take yourself right into 3 defenders. You won't have space to even get by the defender, right? You'll just run into more help, right? And even you can run into so much help that they'll just get right back into rotation, right? So, like, that in itself can't always be read the feet. You got to also understand where you want to go and then read the feet, right? Understand where you want to go, then read the feet. I think that spacing part, where you have space, where you have lanes, where people are plugging in from, is more important than reading the feet, because you'll know where you want to go and where you can even have the possibility to get to. Because if you simply read the feet, you make this a one-on-one thing. But if you're playing 5-on-5, it's not a one-on-one thing. It's more than just me going against you and trying to get from A to B. You're going to run into help. You're going to have to make plays. You're going to have to think beyond yourself. And even when you're trying to play 5-on-5, if you have to literally read the feet and think about it, you're probably not as good in the skill of playing one-on-one as you should be. Because you're probably going to sit here and try to think, okay, his foot is here, boom, I'm trying to do this, but you don't have that much time to literally think about his front foot is here, his back foot is there. It just simply has to be a recognition, right? It has to be something you're able to see and able to operate according to, just by being in that situation so many times, having so much experience, that once you get there, it's practically second nature. And so the spacing, I would say, is the one thing that's always going to be evident in any person that is able to get by their defender. And you also need to have a good understanding of yourself through the experience, through getting the reps in, of what gaps you could be able to get to. Because it's not like it's going to be like you have no help defenders within like a 20-foot distance every single time or some shit, or like 10-foot distance. So now you have these huge gaps you could get into, but sometimes you're gonna have to construe your body in a certain manner so that you could get through a gap. But what the type of gaps you could get through and how well you're able to construe your body to get through those gaps is gonna vary, and you're only gonna be able to know that through the experience you get while playing. So I'll say that. What are your thoughts on Maxey and what aspect? And what aspect? If I'm Denver, I'm blitzing Ant literally every play. The thing is, usually they put Cat one pass away from Ant, so like Cat will be there, sniping. So that's tough. The thing is, it puts you immediately in rotation, and you want to limit that as much as possible. But if you blitz immediately, especially with Jokic, like at that point, you're probably someone's gonna beat you out the dribble. Someone's gonna beat you out the dribble. And if I'm Minnesota, I may make a move and say, fuck it, I may have to play Rudy a little less minutes, because offensively he is a liability. Rockets got number 3 pick. Thank you for being ass Brooklyn. Yo, whatchamacallit? Is there even anybody really good in the draft, bro? I'm pretty sure this is not like a really strong draft class, at least from what I've known. But I didn't even realize the draft. I knew it was yesterday, but I didn't see whatchamacallit. I didn't see the results until this morning. I was like, oh shit, the draft lottery happened. So I was just like, oh shit. But when my arms are really sore, like from a workout from the previous day, should I wait until my arms recover to do my shooting practice, or should I do my shooting routine regardless? I could just tell you, a nigga like me, when I was in high school, I don't give a fuck if my arms are sore, my chest is sore, I was still shooting. I'll still shoot. So that was me. So I could just tell you what I would do. I don't know if there's necessarily right or wrong, but shit, I got to get my shots up. Nigga. I don't give a fuck. And I would, if I had to also tell myself one thing, is to not even lift my upper body to the point where it was strenuously sore. So, can you talk about shooting and how to shoot off the dribble or regular three-pointer with ease? So, if you want to be able to shoot off the dribble, you got to at least be able to shoot a shot off the catch. Shooting a shot off the catch is easier than shooting a shot off the dribble. And if you don't have the fundamentals to shoot a stationary shot, to catch and shoot it without needing to dribble and have to find your balance off a dribble and this rhythm and whatnot, if you can't even do that, shooting a shot off the dribble should even be a thought. Like, you got to go back down to that level. Learn how to shoot without any dribbles and just learn how to shoot catching and stepping your feet in. And then you could add the dribble, which is another variable. And then once you get really good at the catch and shoot, then you're gonna know how to get balance on the shot. Like, you're gonna know how to finish a shot. So regardless what may happen with the dribble, if you're able to have a good ball pickup, boom, now you're getting damn near into a very similar shot like you are off the catch. It's not gonna be exactly the same, but it's gonna be very similar. And so once you're able to teach yourself those mechanics and fundamentals, then you're able to transfer up a level. A lot of people think I gotta go here and then don't even worry about other shit down here that's required to get up here in terms of learning a skill that's difficult. So you gotta climb the ladder. Like, you gotta go step by step, and you can't try to skip those steps. And the key to it ultimately is just starting all the way at the bottom, the most basic level. And more simple than shooting a three with ease off the catch, you gotta be able to shoot mid-range shots off the catch with ease. Be able to knock down 10 in a row, like that. If you can't shoot mid-range shots and go 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 consistently, like off the catch, you should probably take some steps in. Like, you should probably go back. You should go back to that. So, what else? Where else was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about the whatchamacallit, attack reading the feet and shit right there. So we use handle to get a step before them to have a head start. What you mean you use it? We use handles to get a step before them to have a head start. What you mean necessarily by to have a head start in that aspect? Let me get some water. I'm about to start peeping the Discord. We 23 minutes in. A lot of y'all don't even realize this, but sometimes you don't got to shift anybody. Sometimes, like I said, it's going to be a very situational thing. And it's going to be a thing as to which you probably won't even need, you should even think through, right? Sitting here thinking about how you should go and attack every single defender, you're thinking too much about it. And that's even telling me that you haven't played enough to understand that those things, you shouldn't even be thinking about it. Right, you shouldn't be having the same approach to attack a defender every single defender you have. So sometimes, like, it's a feel thing. It's literally feel. I can't really put no words to it, but you get there, and it's almost, your subconscious self is just sending you a message, right? Sending you a signal of what you should do at this point in time, and you just do it. You flow with it. There's no full thoughts going on, because if you have any full thoughts, especially in the course of a real game, like, you're not going to be able to think those full thoughts, right? It's simply going to be recognition. And the only time you do think those full thoughts from front to back and then do challenge those thoughts as well is when you're not playing, when the ball stopped, when the ball is dead, when timeout, something like that, right? Watching film. You got to, off the floor, establish things as facts. So then by the time you get there, that with the experience that you built, you're able to go and play in that flow. So, and like I even show y'all before, like, you don't gotta really shift someone left to right or something like that. You don't gotta hit them with a snatch back and make them cross step and all this other stuff. Sometimes you'll just go. Sometimes it's just a one move and you go. A lot of times it's just a one move and go. A lot of times it's just a go. And a lot of people get things misconstrued because they always watch a lot of highlights. You watch too many highlights, you're going to try to play like a highlight reel. But you understand the highlights are the highlights for a reason. Because with the highlights, that is maybe 10%. The neutral stuff, the basic stuff, fundamental stuff, probably about 80%. And then maybe another 10% for the lowlights. Maybe another 10% for the lowlights. And so if you're only focusing on this 10% up here, the things that look the prettiest, and you don't even know how a player even got there, right? You don't even know what type of rhythm they built. You don't know the type of plays that transpired before that allowed them to end up getting to a point where they got to this flow and they end up getting a highlight. You don't even realize a lot of that shit. And so you got to understand that when it comes down to playing the game in itself, doing the shifting stuff, doing the excess moves, a whole bunch of dribbles, probably won't need that. Now, and once you actually go try it and like, all right, let me keep everything basic. All right, let me just use a one move and go. And maybe if I really need to, change my pace right quick, or maybe use a second move if they beat me to a spot. But if you keep shit that basic, I guarantee you're going to get results like this. You're going to be saving less energy. You're going to be more efficient. And you're going to be like, oh, this is what this is actually like. All right, you're going to be like, this is what this is actually like. And also, there's another part you need when it comes down to that, which is understanding self. You must know thyself. And the only way you're able to know thyself is by being able, or by actually going to hoop and experiencing things for yourself with your own skill set, with your own mind, own experience, own thoughts, all that stuff. So you got to get the reps and you got to go hoop. You got to go figure yourself out. So thinking this too slow. That's what know thyself. Exactly. You must know thyself. But I'm peeping him right here. I'm pretty sure this is Kwesi. I don't know. I don't think he's even in stream, but look, I don't know what's going on necessarily, but maybe a team practice, some shit. But I'm telling you, these gonna be the type of plays y'all gonna get in the goddamn game. Y'all gotta really prepare for it. Catch, rip through, 2 dribbles, floater, going to the left, right hand, bucket. I'm telling you, it'd really be that basic. That's a vast majority of shit. A vast majority. Hold on, he airballed that? I think he airballed that. He only airballed that because one reason. This dude, hold on, just look at this. Look. Even in the air, like he in the air alone. Kwesi probably about 6'3". Buddy right here probably about 5'9". 5'9". I would assume, I would guess, right? And so, if you have a size advantage this discrepant, and now you're driving, and then you maybe try to make contact right there, and then you go into a floater, you got to take that shit all the way underneath the rim. You got to put him in the rim. You could either change direction, but don't allow him to force you away from the rim and make you take a floater like this in transition. And there's hardly any resistance. So whether that is him just being a little more physical than you, or you not being physical enough, which I think it is, right? I think it's on your part, your ability to move your weight, be able to handle your weight, so then you could be able to throw your weight into a defender and be able to get to your spots and utilize your size over the top. Then you got to work on that aspect. You got to work on that skill. Why, Poppy, we talking about Socrates in the comments? Hey, because I said you must know thyself in order for you to be able to know what you're capable of doing and the things you could do on the floor. Know thyself. But yeah, I think this is a self thing. This is a you thing. You gotta get through him on that situation. You gotta get to the rim on that. Attack stronger. Even coach said the same shit. But that's the thing with a lot of coaches. They'll just be like, "Oh, play better defense, go harder, hustle more, hustle harder, hustle stronger." But they won't tell you anything to necessarily fix the problem you have. That's where a lot of coaches fuck up. They'll just be like, "Oh, play better defense. Oh, make a shot. Oh, do this. Oh, do that." But they come with no solutions. They tell you what to do, but don't tell you any solution that may come with it. They don't tell you how to fix the problem that you got. That's where a lot of coaches fuck up. And so for me, on my part, when I was just in high school, I would always just hear things like that, and I'm like, I gotta fix this. Like I'll just think about it. I'll think about it. I'll work on it. I'll see what works and replicate and drill it and over and over and over. So, and I even still do this shit to this day. They hoop in Ghana. I don't know if this is. I'm not sure if he's in Ghana. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I mean, hooping be everywhere. Ain't he just set himself a drill of him doing the same exact thing right here? You set yourself working on the same situation. Did he travel? Loki traveled. You know, you know why a lot of people struggle with this too? You know why a lot of people struggle with this? It's because they catch flat-footed. They catch flat-footed. And so when you catch flat-footed, that indicates an inactive leg as a whole. Calf inactive, quad inactive, hamstrings inactive, whatever, glute muscles inactive, all that stuff, hip flexors, whatever it might be, all inactive. Be relatively active, but not as active as it needs to be for you to go and do a jab step to where you're shifting your weight to the other leg and then bringing it back the other way back to a leg that you just had your weight on, so you could get back that other way. And so that's why I always say you got to be able to play on the balls of your feet. So strengthen them calves, especially strengthen them calves, so you could be able to actually get that heel off the ground. I'd even say find glass on that angle. That's a glass angle. At least to me, that's a glass angle. Anytime in this vicinity right here, glass. Middies, anything, glass. You think I should have shot it with all that space? Shot this? If it's not his game, then don't shoot it. If it's me, say if I'm in his spot, like Pat, like the person you're watching, like I'm boom right there, I may not even go that way. I may even just end up going left and just end up finishing on that right side. This shit wide open. Or I'd either go left and then I may even be able to dunk that shit, fuck around, the nigga's too slow. Hey, I'm just telling y'all, bro, when y'all see me hoop and you see me go left, oh my gosh, it's no rim might get torn. But I need to tell y'all this too. Bro, I was this close to the East Bay this weekend. This close. Like, I kid you not. I was recording my attempts, but my phone ran out of storage because I was recording a Patreon video on ball defense. So I had used up all the space in my phone to record that, and then I had a few clips of me jumping and going for the East Bay between legs. But then the ones that was popped in and out, I had two that were like right there. I was like, yo, I could have really dunked that shit. Like, I'm right there. Them shits was popped out twice. But the thing is too, right? I low-key learned a little lesson from that. Or not, I'm going through a lesson when it comes down to it, right? I got my two closest attempts ever on the East Bay. And I told y'all, once I get the East Bay, I'm done jump training. Like, I'm done. I'm cool off of it, right? Because I was like, all right, let me get a windmill. Got the windmill, and I was like, fuck it, let me get the East Bay. Now I'm right there at the East Bay. So I've literally been working at this for damn near like a year and like 16 months-ish, 18 months, a year and a half damn near. When I first started, it was like, all right, let me get my bounce up, right? But there's, of course, been plateaus, ups and downs. I lost focus at certain points. And then now I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm about to get it. And guess what fucking happened? Guess what happened? Hamstring strain. Got a hamstring strain. It's a mini hamstring strain, but it's not one where I'm walking around or I'm running and I can feel it. But it's only when I go and do max force movements where I'm like, yo, this shit, like if I go too far, this shit might really break on me. And so now I'm literally like playing everything careful. Like I can't even go jump this entire week, icing my hamstring, doing the lifts, doing all the little stuff. Like right there, as soon as I'm right there, got hit with a hamstring strain. And right in the same workout on Saturday when I was going for the East Bay, I felt it at the end. I was like, bro, I'm so close. My brother's in the gym. I was like, bro, fuck around, record it. And I was like, I sat there, I thought about it. And I was like, do I want to try to get these 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever attempts it is now and risk me missing 4 or 6 months tearing my hamstring, or should I just play it cool, let it be as it is now, and just make sure I rehab it back to what it needs to be and be prepared in a week or 2 from now? So I was just like, yeah, let me just wait another week or 2 because I'm not going to sacrifice 4 to 6 months just for about 3 to 5 tries if that shit does tear. Because the amount of force you do need to get up, I'm like, oh, that shit could really give out. So show us some. I got one here on my phone. Let me drop it in the Discord. Right quick. But the ones I had that were the closest, them shits did not save. Which upset me, bro. Them shits did not save. Because my phone had ran out of storage. Like, that shit had popped out the rim. I kid you not, once I get that East Bay, you're going to see me in the gym. Like, if you're in the gym, or whoever's going to be in the gym at that time, I'm going to scream. You're going to hear the roar of a lion at that point. But Pete, I had much closer ones than this. Like, this one was like, it was like, I'm up here, but I was a little too forceful. I wasn't as graceful. And the epiphany I had is that you don't got to be so forceful in the movement, although it's fast and there's a lot of force. Like, there's a level of just relaxation you need to go into these jumps so you can be able to get this shit off controlled, right? And can actually get the ball in the rim. And so I was always doing it way too forceful. If I had went into these gracefully, like, months prior, I probably would have been got it. Honestly, probably would have been got it. But I just never actually went to experience the failure and see, okay, what do I got to do? What am I doing wrong? And just trying out a bunch of shit. And so the second I told myself, all right, just relax. Stop trying to jump so high. Stop trying to jump so aggressively and make that transfer so aggressive and quick and just do it and be in a flow. I was like, oh, let me go ahead and try it. But like, I got the mechanics down. Like, I'm in the air. Like, I got the hang time and shit, but it's just getting it there. That's just the whole work in itself. And so, hands there, everything. I had some of them pop back rim, front rim, popped right out. I'm like, bro, fuck, I'm right there. But yeah, I'm locked in though. Because I told y'all, the second I get that, I'm done with this shit. And I'm going to skills training. But I need to get through this Discord. Where was I at? You think it, boom, the shot. Yeah, I remember that. I peeped that. Most time I fuck around and catch a body. You say glaze themselves. Oh, you talking about when I was talking about, if I was in his position. But yeah, boom, same boat. You got a calf. Oh yeah, calf strain, hamstring strain. Them shits are scary. I remember you had said that last stream too, where you had the little issue with your calf. But he sent one more video. It seemed like somebody liked a little floater. It seemed like somebody likes to go to his floater. It seemed like somebody likes to float. That's the second time we done seen a float going to the left, right hand. By the way, y'all do not need an offhand float. You seen them, if you watch any of your favorite players, any of your favorite floater hoopers, they go to their non-dominant hand and float with their dominant hand every time. You don't need it. It may seem pretty and cool and all, but in reality, you don't need it. Ran the lane. It's a little. It seems like you're you lose composure around the rim. You lose composure. Like, you're there, and these are makeable looks, but when you're around bodies in this tight vicinity, your touch begins to remain associated to the uncomfortability you are at mentally. Like, you might have the skill to have the touch around the rim, but since you're just uncomfortable there, the touch that you put on the ball when you're there is not there. And so, ultimately, I would say that could really be solved through, one, improving your body, so any contact that's there, you're really uninfluenced by it. And then two, making sure that when you do work on your touches around the rim, you get them higher up off that glass and you really do work on that touch more and more, right? So like, you're getting around the rim and you're more comfortable and you're able to disassociate any speed, any momentum that you have going into that drive or anything that's chaotic that happened before from the layup and the touching itself. And that's one of the most important skills of finishing. And that's something that Russ, if he got, unguardable. If Westbrook had that, unguardable. So, what should weight room work look like for hoops? Of course, it depends from player to player, depending on needs. But what should it be in general for serious basketball players? Training legs, training core, training upper body, minimally but effectively, to where you don't allow any excess weight to be put on. You don't try to train upper body for aesthetic, and you just simply train your upper body mainly for the functional needs that's necessary for the game. So probably really just shoulder strength, back strength, chest, biceps, triceps. You don't need much of. You could do it slightly, but not excessively. So the workouts that I post some workouts on my story every now and then, on my IG story. So if you just want to be able to see a few every now and then, I got some there. But the full workouts, top of the Patreon. So all the things, all the concepts I'm talking to you about right now, top of the Patreon. You would probably go there and already see like 5-6 full workouts in there. And I post workouts every week on there. So Discord free. You just got to do a CAPTCHA. If a CAPTCHA costs you money, if you can't solve a CAPTCHA, I guess it's not free. Why they giving bro so much space? Probably because he's not really a shooter. I mean, you could just tell by the type of attacks he's taking. If he's always driving, they give him space. You're like, why are they giving him space? He can't shoot. You're probably one of those defenders who will be like, yo, I'm gonna guard him up. You're probably the type of defender to guard everybody up, ain't you? Huh? Hey, whatchamacallit, Ricky, you the type of person just to guard anybody up. They could be bricks. If you the type of person to guard up Prime Westbrook and be like, oh shit. Get blown by every time. Subbed out the damn game. Where was I at? Don't lift so often that you too sore to do skill work. Yeah, but if you lift, when you first start lifting, you're gonna get sore a little more often by training things you never really train. But the more and more you get used to it, you shouldn't really be getting sore. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't really be getting sore. And also understand that less is more. So like when I say less is more, don't think you gotta go and do like six sets of goddamn rear foot elevated split squats at 10 reps. Like that's OD. That's OD. Kobe Johnson, appreciate that sub. So maybe I do maximum like 3 sets each workout. 2 to 3 sets each workout. And if I do 2 sets, then it'll probably be slightly higher in reps or lower in reps and higher in weight. Bro, always spin back to the Patreon because he asked how do the workouts look like. The only place I have where the workouts look like is in the Patreon. It's right there. It's right there at the top of the chat. So it's like that's where my full workouts are. PG-13 tier. Train hips. Training the hips is important, but to an extent. If you train like I think training quads, hamstrings, getting those bigger muscle groups are more important. And also when you train your quads, you'll also train your hips because it's a 2-joint muscle to where it's connected to the knee and the hip, and it establishes the hip flexor. So you could also train the hips by training your quads properly. So there's an extent to what you need to, but you don't need to do it as much as you will with the bigger groups. So it's something you can do every now and then. I just big didn't realize the clips be going dummy. Brody would pick up Ben Simmons from on God, get subbed right out the game. You gonna check the box score. That shit gonna say next to his time played 0-0 colon 22. 22 seconds he played in the game. Fuck you talking about? Played 22 seconds. He got blown by. And not even 22, bro. It was 8. It was 8 seconds, bro. You picked up full court, blown by a timeout out the game. GG's, my boy. Timeout immediately, expeditiously. See, same thing I'll tell you right here. You get around to that paint, lose composure, lose control. And so if you improve your body, then also just get a lot of lays around the rim. That's the only way to go. So you can have the control to get up, be able to stay controlled in the air, and then be able to finish. Bro got blocked, he ain't get blocked. Look. Maybe hit on the arm. But even look at the angle he was going to go finish with. Look at the angle. Now, even if he don't get fouled, right, a lot of people can't see through fouls and see through shit that happened in the play. But his arm is all the way out here, and he's jumping to the left side. I don't know where he's going to try to cook with this, but I can tell you that there is a lack of skill when it comes down to finishing. I can say that. So I don't know where he was about to do. I don't know if he was going to Kyrie, Julius Erving that joint up and under to the left, but so I would say get a lot of lays around the rim, a lot of touches, a lot of reps when it comes down to lays, and improve your body. Strength train, functional strength train, 3 days a week. Let me see if I got any other questions in here. I'm pretty sure I do, so let me try to get to that. Shit, we 46 minutes in. I'm gonna get through where, let me see the most recent stuff, or the things that were the oldest stuff that I haven't gotten to. Let me get to here. I'm gonna go to here. So this stuff is due. My 2 cents. Okay, so this is a workout someone put in. 1 minute crossover behind the back, crossover between the legs, freestyle dribbling. This is a good dribbling workout. Honestly, dribbling workouts need to be more focused than y'all think. And there's layers to dribbling, and there's a science within dribbling that y'all need to understand so you can know what part of ball handling you need to work on. And then that's going to determine what type of drills you should do. And then that's where freestyle dribbling then could help after doing all those things to where you're now mixing it in with these other skills. So let me say that. And that's something I even need to go over one of these days. But he said it's not a good workout. That's at full speed, distracting a lot of times in games. People's handles get worse because they're moving faster and focusing on other things. Defense coach. So try to integrate more full speed movements as well as focusing on something that's not your dribbling. Hope this helps. I'll say this is solid. Focus on something that's not your dribbling, which is the freestyle dribbling portion. But like I said, all this stuff prior to, they need to be purposeful, meaning they're working on a certain part of your handle, whether it's your ability to cuff the ball, your hand speed, whether it's your pound, whether it's your changing levels, whether it's your ability to match your dribble with your feet. Like, there's a bunch of different things you could focus on when it comes down to this first portion. And I think the freestyle portion is, I say, a damn near necessity for all ball handling workouts to an extent. So, yeah. And someone has sent this earlier today. So, Naquan Tomlin got invited to NBA draft, but he didn't play high school or AAU. But he went to Kansas, I think so. My question is how did he do that playing a great college without high school? I would say this. I know a lot of y'all probably thinking about the same thing, like, oh, I could be able to get there without not playing in high school or AAU. This is an anomaly. This is an anomaly. Let me tell you that first and foremost. So if you're gonna try to sit here and say, okay, all right, there's a way someone was able to not play high school, not play AAU, you're probably trying to duck smoke. You can't duck smoke. First and foremost, you can't duck smoke. 1, 2. He's probably already naturally gifted and talented. And where he was able to showcase his skills and talents in areas outside of high school and AAU. So was he really ducking smoke? Probably was not. And if he was, it's going to come to light. If he's just someone who's talented and can't perform, it's going to come to light. So all for me to say is that how is he able to do it? I don't know his circumstances or his story, but I could tell you the fact he's probably extremely naturally talented, gifted, skilled already, was probably putting the work in. And to try to go about a route where you try to avoid high school and an AAU is going to be highly unlikely you're able to get from where you are now to where you want to be. So don't try to necessarily be like, yo, how do you do it? Let me try to do it. Because like I said, this is an anomaly. I do swing floaters around that area to avoid extra contact. I think it's easier. It is easier, especially if you got an efficient floater. Especially if you got an efficient floater. How do you get more confident as a player? I'm going to keep this most simple as it possibly can be. Confidence boils down to repetition. Because in repetition, You show yourself what you're capable of doing and what you're not capable of doing. And now once you're able to get yourself to that point, then that's where confidence begins to be bred. So then you're able to get into the game and like, yo, I could do this, I could do that. And I see myself do it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 200, 1,000 times before. You're going to have all the confidence to do it one more time. And so you just need to get the reps in. That's all confidence really boils down to. Getting the reps and getting reps that will translate to what you're actually going to do. So don't just do anything and be like, yo, I'm going to get confidence in this, I'm going to be able to do it. No, it requires reps in things that are necessary and being intentional with all your workouts. So, oh, you sent this early, Eric, was this you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was you. Same wallpaper. I'm pretty sure it still was you. But we low-key 50 minutes in. I may go through the rest of the Discord tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, but on Wednesday. I may go through the rest on Wednesday. So this low-key dummy late into the stream. I should have gotten to it quicker. But yeah, he sent that in the stream, so I already got that. But let's get to this breakdown though. Let's get to this breakdown. How can I improve my handle quickly? You looking to skip the process, man. You looking to skip the process, gang. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to break the news to you. You can't skip the process. You can't get microwavable results. Keep it a beam, man. Keep it a beam. But essentially, you could improve it quickly if you know exactly what part of your handle is bad, and you just attack that weakness that could then unlock your handle as a whole. And that just boils down to working intentionally, understanding why you can't dribble, what areas you tend to lose the ball, turn the ball over, where you feel uncomfortable, and working directly to that. And that's the quickest way you could improve your handle. Working on the shit you need to work on and not working on a bunch of shit that's unnecessary, and attacking those skills straight on. So that's the quickest way, just to be direct. Be direct exactly what you want to do and not try to put all your eggs in 10 different baskets. Put it all in one basket and work on that skill. Can I show you the handle workout I do to increase? You can send it. Try sending it to Discord. I can't peep it today. I won't be able to peep it today, but I can try to peep it later maybe. But let me drop this. Let me pull this up in or let me post this on Instagram right quick. Let me get this posted right quick. Hold on. There we go. Boom. Get that. Got that. Let's get there. Let's go there. Let's go there. And then after that, we're going to go with that. Then we're going to go with that. Then we're going to go with that. And then we're going to go with that. And then we're going to go with that. And let me change that right quick. Let me put that on the screen right quick. Post that right there on the story. And then let me post this in the Discord right quick, and then we about to get started. Breakdown. Got that. Locked in. Fuck the Nuggets. Y'all don't fuck with the Nuggets, bro? Y'all ain't fucking with the Nuggets? Bro? Y'all just want to see them lose, huh? That big body rushing. That's crazy. Big body rushing is crazy. Stationary drills are very mid after a point in time. They are very mid. Very, very, very mid after a certain point in time. Let me say that. Because if you just think about intentionality and trying to convert what you're doing in practice to a game, you're not dribbling stationary in a game. Everything you do in a game, when it comes to dribbling, you're going to have to be able to match your dribbles with your feet. Doing shit stationary is not going to allow you to do that. It'll teach you how to move your body and shift your body, but that's it, right? That's it. It can teach you how to shift left to right, doing a tween, doing a cross, behind the back, whatever it might be. But when it actually comes down to learning how to take these steps and time them and have that rhythm, you can't do that. So, yeah, calling Jokic Russian is crazy work. You lucky. Whatchamacallit? Z isn't in here. Z, he is fellow Serbian. He is fellow Serbian. So, anytime anybody say something about Jokic, he always got something else to say about. He got something to say about you. So, we about to peep not just Jokic and not just Murray and whatever and with Denver. I'm also gonna peep Ant as well. I'm also gonna peep Ant as well. See the little things as to which they're able to do on their side. But it's mainly gonna be Jokic. It's gonna be Jokic and Jokic getting to his shit, cooking the defensive player of the year. You know what I'm saying? Cooking the defensive player of the year. And that's low key. That's the funny thing about it as well, is that he was frying Rudy Gobert, and it was just like, do we not see the same shit sometimes? Like me personally, like Rudy could protect the rim. He's solid protecting the rim, but you bring him to the perimeter, he's helpless, bro. He's helpless. I seen what it was like a couple seasons ago. Russ had dropped 40 on Rudy Gobert. And you're like, Russ doesn't shoot no jumpers. Exactly. Took that motherfucker to the rim, put 40 on his head. I was like, dog, he cooked him, fried him. So, thoughts on carnivore diet? That's a crazy diet. That's a Neanderthal diet-esque diet. That's wild. Straight only eating meat, pause. Wild work. Wild work, gang. Wild work. Caveman diet. Yeah, bro. That's he said no vegetables or fruit. If you're going to be a carnivore, gang, you got it. You got it. If you want to try it, you can go ahead and do it. Watch your goddamn stomach and your liver and your body just shift until you're I can't even fathom what it'll be like just to eat pure chicken, steak. By the way, I had lamb the other day. I ate lamb for the first time. Like, what was it? Saturday? I had lamb. And then I had crab cakes too. I was low-key feeling a little boozy, bro. I was feeling a little boozy. Pure meat, you gotta put a pause on that. You gotta put a pause on that, gang. You can't just type pure meat in the chat and not put no pause on that. So first and foremost, let's talk about Jokic. Let's talk about Loki. Let's get to this breakdown, bro. Let's get to this breakdown. We've been taking a little way too long to get into this shit. So, even the thing about this matchup with Jokic and then Minnesota is that regardless of where Rudy was or where Cap was, he was still getting busy, right? He was still getting busy. So, ultimately, let me get some water. Then we about to cook. So first and foremost, it doesn't matter who was on Jokic, Cat, or the defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert. He was still cooking and still getting busy, even in situations like this, where you got Jokic, and pay attention to where he's going to catch the ball and where everybody is going to be, right? He's in the middle of the floor and everybody is to his left. And now just looking at the floor like this, it's like everything's compact. How could you put the defense in rotation when there's like no space? But understand, even when he is here in a situation like this, look at where he's looking. Reading this weak side, because you know Gobert is going to step in and help at any sort of drive to the rim from Jokic. And so the second that Jaden McDaniels steps to that block, I kick that to Porter Jr. I put you in rotation, despite the fact we had 4 people on one side of the floor. And that right there is crazy work. Smart, high IQ basketball by Jokic. I'm about to peep this and I'm about to lock in. Childless cars. Hey, all I gotta tell you is, as the original man is only designed to eat fruits, vegetables, things that come from the earth. meat wasn't necessarily in the original man's diet. So I just gotta say that. You go back all the way in time, people was not eating animals and shit. So that's all I gotta say when it come down to that. So pay attention now, right? Jokic really about to start cooking. So about to really start cooking. Passing and scoring wise. So now when you got Jamal Murray coming off the screen with Jokic, middle of the floor, all the pressure right now is on Gobert because you got Jokic on this roll. And so when Jokic gets this catch, he's unfazed by Rudy doing that bullshit bait that he just did. For one reason. Because when he gets that catch, he goes into the rhythm, the motion of a floater, but he could also float and lob it. So regardless if Rudy Gobert jumps, he could just float it if he's uncomfortable taking, or float it to a lob if he's uncomfortable taking the float. And so he just takes the float and realizes Gobert was baiting. Easy buckets. And I'll talk about Ant right quick. Let's talk about Ant right quick. He's literally about to play in levels, play in layers, or literally level by level. He's about to get busy. So when you play out in transition, the one thing you got to do against someone going backwards is be unpredictable. Now pay attention to the moves Ant's about to use. Cross step, chopping up his steps, which now led Jamal Murray to just guard in a straight line and not be able to beat him to a spot. So pay attention, right? The second angle. He gets left, throws it over, jabs out to that left, gets back right. Jamal Murray still in that line, can't beat him to that right side. Ant just hangs right there. He gets that too, right? At the rim, he got to lay, right? At the rim, he got to lay. Now this time, half court set, he's got the ball. Rudy Gobert screen going to the left side. Jokic is not going to switch this action. He ain't going to switch this. And so now KCP's job now is to fight over and get back in front. But when Ant decides to do this right here, this cross step, you slipping. You almost touched earth. Right? But almost isn't quite. And so what that did is now opened up that middle. So now he could get into the middle of the floor and attack the rim. But pay attention to Jokic. He plugs. Ant decides to pull up right there at the free throw line. Give me that midi. Second bucket of the game. Right? And now having a lay, then having a two, and now I'm in transition. I got Jamal Murray backpedaling once again. Am I going to attack the rim? Or am I going to get to this third level and pull up for this three? Because now I'm playing in a flow. And I'm not even thinking about how the shot's going to feel or worrying about whether the shot's going to go in or not. Because I done already made the first one at the rim. I done made my midi. I'm playing at a flow at this point. And so y'all got to understand, you don't literally have to go level by level to then be able to shoot a three. But I would say the most important thing y'all should do is to at least get that layup. Break the ice with the layup. And if you take your first couple shots and they were open, try to find a way to get a layup, right? Not saying the first shot you take, the second shot you take, third shot, it's always got to be a layup before you shoot a three. But make sure that if you are in a cold spell, you can't knock down shots, get a layup, or just try to get a layup early in the game so you can break that ice. And how do you get that layup? Running down in transition, backdoor cuts, setting screens and slipping, basic stuff. Do the basic stuff. I promise you'll find a layup early. Especially when y'all play games and people don't know your play style. I'm talking about organized games specifically. So pay attention to this as well. So if you just watch Jokic, you know that when he posts up, he's going over his left shoulder to that right hook. But how is it so unguardable, right? Because pay attention. Now that he's ended up forcing Cat to open up his base right here, Cat's now trying to compensate for that, and pay attention to this right elbow from Jokic. Pay attention. Or this left elbow, I should say. This left elbow from Jokic. Hits Karl Anthony Towns right there on his left side, forcing that left leg to then drop back, get him off balance, hook around. I have all the space I need, and I once again get to my right hand, and you can't stop it. He be cooking with it. And now pay attention to Jamal Murray. Rudy Gobert made a smart-ass play. I ain't gonna lie. Rudy Gobert, this is something Rudy Gobert does good on offense. Pay attention. I got to go 0.5 for this, right? Look at Jamal Murray. He's got Mike Conley. He looks down. What is he looking at? He realizes Gobert is about to come up and set this screen for Ant. But he's going to now pick up Rudy, and then Jokic is going to switch to Conley, so Jokic doesn't have to guard a pick and roll. But what does Rudy do playing chess? Instead of going up to screen KCP, he screens Jamal Murray so Ant can get to that left side, and now he can have an open lane to the rim, and now he can get that lane. Smart play by Rudy. That's not very often. Actually, it is often. Let me not try to hate on Rudy. Let me show y'all what Rudy does good. That's what he does well, right? Great play right there by Rudy. And I'll pay attention to Jokic. Pay attention to Jokic. Pay attention. Pay attention. This is where, when you begin to understand where somebody's mind is, right? Where you begin to worry too much about what other people got going on, it's going to fuck up what you got going on. So notice Jokic. Jokic turns to that left side, right? He's dropped all the way back. And I think y'all really underestimate how important that is. So, as Jokic is getting back, he turns to that left side, drops to that free throw line, showing you he's worried about the action going on that right side of the floor. But not even realizing what he's got to worry about, which is Rudy Gobert. And when Ant has the ball, when he gets into these screens, I got to be high up. He's not able to be high up because he was too relaxed, too lackadaisical. And now he's late on the step up. Ant turns a corner. And guess what? This could have been really bad for him because that was Jamal Murray's second foul. And if they really did take advantage of it, could have been bad going forward for the rest of the game. But he didn't get put in much foul trouble after this. But the little lapses, those little slip-ups that you have when playing defense or playing basketball as a whole, even though you may not directly be the one who gets hurt for it, right? In a situation where Murray, like this, where Murray got a second, it can hurt someone else, and ultimately it's going to hurt the team. So you got to make sure you're sharp mentally. And I'll Pete Walker. This is a great play. This is a great defensive play. So, ball gets thrown down here to Jokic. He's got Naz Reid. Now watch Alexander Walker. He has Reggie Jackson. He cuts through. He faces Reggie Jackson like he's going to follow him. But what does he do instead? The second he turns away, Jokic comes middle, I go and double. This is unpredictable, which now puts Jokic in a position where you have to panic. This weak side isn't spaced out quite yet. And now I end up throwing this pass deep corner to Reggie Jackson. Hell of a pass. But ultimately, he's so far deep corner, he breaks that top of the backboard. Great double team. When you throw those unpredictable double teams or unpredictable plays as a defender, that's how you're able to break up offense. That's how you're able to catch the offense lacking. And especially with the amount of time they had on the shot clock, finishing this with 1.7, Jokic had maybe about 6 to 7 to go when he got that catch. You're going to put them in a terrible position to be able to execute. And now right back with Naz Reid. I like Naz Reid guarding Jokic, but it's just when they be falling for the bait and falling for the fakes like this. Is when it's like, yo, come on, lock in, gang. Like, just lock in. So pay attention. I got to go 0.5 because when it comes down to these post moves from Jokic, you really got to slow down and see how he's able to shift people and able to get his angles, right? So notice, when Jokic gets this catch right here, Naz Reid, he faces up, spins, turns his back. Watch this first bump. Hits him, Naz Reid prepared for that. You see all that space right there and then. Jokic not no small dude either. That was a big bump. And so now Naz Reid is waiting for the second bump. The second bump is what Naz Reid's trying to be a step ahead for. He's trying to anticipate, right? So Naz Reid's going to step right so then he could be able to brace himself for that. But Jokic, shimmy, gets right back over to that left shoulder. Right foot, right hand, hook. That's tough, you know? And despite the fact he's going right, when he gives you all this contact and this physicality, it's tough to be able to maintain discipline and force him over that right shoulder if it's in the game plan. And I don't know if it is. Did I get a sub? Tesero, appreciate that sub. Now pay attention to Reggie Jackson. I'm telling you, these clear outs, man. Notice Reggie Jackson with Jaden McDaniels, right? He slips out from the screen. No switch occurs. McDaniels is clearing out. But what does Reggie Jackson do instead of turn around and follow McDaniels? He backpedals, stays in Edwards' lane. Porter Jr. plugged in from this corner, stays there. You can't Euro step nowhere. Boom, we end up getting this charge. Make that call right there. I'm telling you, when you decide not to play dummy, turn your back and open up lanes and guard somebody who is a non-threat, right? You'll be able to get so many more stops. So situations like that, when somebody is cutting, somebody initiates a pass, they cut, someone sets a slip and they cut underneath the rim, running along the baseline, trying to fill out to the opposite side, do not lose eyes on the ball. Because on that cut, if you continuously cut, you'll leave that lane wide open. And now this is the X factor. This is the X factor. X factor, X factor. So what really shifted the entire dynamic of this game and probably series is that when Jokic is out the game, AG was aggressive, right? Aggressive to the point where I'm getting mismatches, clearing out the side of the floor, creating space so I could go and attack, right? But I don't even want to talk about AG on this play itself. I want to talk about this weak side, what Christian Brown did, right? You're probably like, oh, he just did a regular cut. Now, the key to the cut is the timing, and y'all don't know the timing to cuts, right? Pay attention, really pay attention. When Christian Brown is on his weak side, Naz Reid is guarding him, right? And so Gordon turns, Naz Reid, pay attention. He steps over and help. Brown follows him right behind, and now once there is two on the ball, he's immediately looking for an outlet, and cutting at that time leaves him open. And now he's able to find some room along or by that rim and get that leg. You cut when that step over happens. It's just like a double team, right? When your teammate gets doubled and they have the ball, and if it was from the person that was guarding you and you're off the ball, you follow right behind. Same thing with this cut. They double, if they go help on this drive, boom, cut right behind it if you want to get that too. And now pay attention here. Spacing is vital. This is probably one of the most overlooked, underrated aspects of playing off the ball. How to navigate to space, right? So you got Gordon in the post, left side by himself. You can't help. You got Michael Porter Jr. here, Jamal Murray here. So you're not really going to help from this top side. And so now the weak side, right? The weak side is what you really got to look at. And so pay attention. Naz Reid stepping over to help out Walker. You got Mike Conley worried about Christian Brown on this dunker. And now you got Justin Holiday, who's been a game changer because he's coming off the bench in place of Peyton Watson. So now he could actually be a threat from the outside, and you actually got to close out to him. And so instead of staying in this corner where Conley could guard both if he stays, he lifts up to that wing where Conley now has to make a longer closeout. And now he's able to find space, late hand, and able to get to his bucket. Y'all got to know how to navigate to space when you're off the ball, especially in those type of situations where you got someone in help, they plug it in, and then if you stay in the same spot, it's going to compress the spacing. You got to make sure you move to spacing so you could be open. And I even understand that as well, right? Understand that was what, second bucket, right? Now that was 5 points responsible from AG by himself. And so now he's just bringing the ball up the floor. You got Kyle Anderson. You know Kyle Anderson. What's his name? Slow-mo. Nicknamed Slow-mo for a reason. So what ends up occurring now, you picking up full court. I break the play. I could go right and not have to worry about help. I just got to get into my little cuff pickup because I got Jamal Murray on this right side. And Jamal Murray is damn near taking a break while on the floor while Jokic is taking a break. That's the game changer. That's a game changer. 7 points right there responsible. We now about to be up 13. And that's all because of AG. All right, all because of AG. And so by the time the lead even gets to 13, we get another stop. Jamal Murray has the ball for the first time in the first 2 minutes of this quarter. Lead continuously expanding. And now he's just doing him while AG did everything else. And this is what allowed them to win this game. The lead that they built at the start of the second, able to maintain it throughout, and then win the game ultimately. And so by having AG be a hub, be someone you play through, someone that you isolation, handoffs, post-ups, whatever for gravity, might really change this whole series. So Minnesota going to have to find a move for that. They're going to have to find their own little chess move. So, yo, what's good, Evan? What's good? You got practice? Make sure you just tune into the VOD, though. Tune into the VOD. It's going to be posted afterwards, so. But I want y'all to peep Jokic now. Peep Jokic. We're going back to Jokic. Jokic about to get busy. So, notice. You got Jokic on his left side trying to set a pin down for Michael Porter Jr., right? And you see his physicality. You see him being locked up, hand to hand, arm to arm. So Jokic pops out instead. And now by Jokic popping out, he just literally cooked Rudy Gobert for at least 3 things. Understand? Because now, from going from the screener as a pop, Rudy has to navigate around the screen, 1. He has to close out now, 2. And he has to play defense going backwards, 3. And Rudy Gobert can't do none of those, and he's only known for protecting the rim, despite being Defensive Player of the Year. And so now, Jokic, when you put him to the outside, put him to the perimeter, gave me these actions, you defeat the fact of Rudy Gobert being the Defensive Player of the Year, because he was a Defensive Player of the Year because he could protect the rim, and not because he could guard the perimeter as well. And now here too, I just want to talk about a couple of offensive things right here, right? A couple of offensive things. So notice here, anytime you catch the ball in the middle of the floor, the first thing you do should not be this. Dribble. That's not the first thing you do. Because if you decide to go and do that, you'll miss out on the opportunities you have. And the first thing you should do is look and read the defense. And the opportunity you have is McDaniels cutting along this baseline for a possible lob. But since he dribbles, he puts the ball down, and now he ends up getting fouled. Yeah, you go shoot some free throws. But your Rudy Gobert shoots like 50-60% from the line. That should have been an easy 2 if you just caught, looked before you dribbled, and threw that lob. Should have been 2 points instead of the 1 point that they got down this trip. And that makes the biggest difference, because a dunk off a lob is a momentum builder. Not just also a momentum builder, you score more points. So ultimately, this is just the right play to make. Hey, bro, I got to speak the facts, bro. I got to speak the facts. Nothing to Rudy Gobert and his character, right? He's great at protecting the rim. Get the rebounds, lock down the paint. You know what I'm saying? I'm not somebody you want to go and try to get over every single time. You're going to think twice about sometimes. But when you look at defense as a whole, the game's such perimeter-based and perimeter-oriented, and your inability to guard the perimeter, you're incapable of guarding the perimeter, it's like, come on. It's tough as well. And the team is a defensive team. Let me mention that too. They're a defensive team. But peep this as well. Peep this here too with Ant. So a lot of y'all only think it changes the pace to get by one player, but you can manipulate multiple, right? Ant gets here on the baseline, stops, AG turns, leaves, goes to the corner, which now opens up the left side of the rim so he can just get a layup. Y'all got to understand, sometimes when you attack, all a person is waiting for you to do is to stop. All they're waiting for you to do is to stop. Not if you continuously go and you do something else. If you just simply make a stop and go, like a quick stop and go like Ant just did, they will literally leave and open up a whole new lane for you. You just got to understand that. You got to get good at those decels. But it's about Jokic. That's what's so troubling. I think the best way they could even guarded this, I even think you should have had Jokic on the ball, or Gobert on Jokic, like playing on the ball for him. I think Naz Reid and Cat would have done a better job, so Rudy could do what he does best, which is be around in the paint, stepping over and playing help. So that's me though. I seen him play on the ball a little too much, a little too often. And so let me even talk about this. I want to talk about this even from Denver's perspective and Minnesota's perspective. So now, right, Jokic just got Rudy. He turns, clear out. I'm about to get busy. Right? You on the island, Rudy. You on the island, right? All those accolades can't stop you right here on the island. And so notice what happens, right? You got Ant on this weak side, hands on the hips. I know we tired. I know we dropping 40, 45. But hands on the hips on the weak side when you got Jokic in the post with Rudy on him and you know he going to be cooking him, you can't do that. You got to make sure you locked in, right? You got to make sure you locked in at all times. And so understand what happens. As Jokic gets lower and lower, he ends up getting to the point where he turns over this shoulder, and now Ant is not ready to take away this dunker with Cat also stepping over. And you may be like, all right, then he's going to open up this corner. But he's not going to open up the corner, because understand, if he decided to take away this dunker spot Jokic now has to throw a skip pass from this block to that corner over the hands of Cat and Rudy. And then that's going to allow enough time for Alexander Walker to get to KCP, and then also McDaniels whatever time to get to Michael Porter Jr. And now you're going to have probably 3 seconds, 2 seconds, or maybe no more time on the shot clock. That ball's going to have to go all the way in the air. Boom, down to KCP. You'll be able to play in rotation off of that. So you would have got the stop and would have been able to build off that momentum had that dunker spot been taken away, but also great play by Jokic, just making that read on in. And now here with AG. Little things, this is little things. Little things right here. Peep this as well. So AG off this offensive rebound, right? And now the most important thing now, what's the help looking like? You got Ant on Jamal Murray. All Aaron Gordon now is doing is watching Ant. He waits for Ant, steps towards outside that paint, hits his move, gets to that baseline. Ant laid on that help. He ain't trying to go for that. Ant's probably low-key a little tired right now from all of that shit he doing on the offensive side. Can't even lie. I can't even lie about that. Probably tired. You seen the hands on the hips. You see him laid on the step over. Probably tired from all that scoring. So Pete this with McDaniels though. Pete this with McDaniels. McDaniels defensively, he be making the plays I was just talking about before, right? It's the unpredictable plays. Not necessarily unpredictable. It's just a smart play. I'm just gonna leave it as that. It's just a smart play, bro. It's just a smart play. Can't even lie. Like, this is purely smart. So understand. You got Jokic on his right side, and you got McDaniels guarding Jamal Murray. Now you think Jaden McDaniels, you can't leave Jamal Murray. Jokic is gonna get the ball to him. But understand the time he decides to go. When Jokic gets here, he has no access to Jamal Murray. So now he could be able to come into this play and help over. He did that one time. He's about to do it twice. This is something all great defenders always look for. When players are in spots to where they cannot take advantage of the fact that if they get double teamed and the numbers that they have, right? They can't take advantage of the numbers they have. So now, Jaden McDaniels guarding Murray once again. Jokic on his right side of the floor, deeper down. And so he's remaining at this position, back turned to the rest of the floor. I'm going to go double because you don't have access to Jamal Murray. You can't see what's happening. And now you end up panicking, throw that ball out, Murray there, KCP not ready for it, turnover. Those are the smart plays that elite defenders make. Now pay attention to this with McDaniels as well. Now just watch Ant, right? Just watch Ant. A lot of people be thinking I'm bugging for this. A lot of people think I'm bugging for this. So if you still think that these players up here only read these three players over here, you're stupid, right? Watch this. Ant gets right. Porter Jr. plugs. He skips that to the corner. You cannot say, oh, this is too deep. You're not looking at the right stuff. This is not what they think about. You have to read the help. You have to read the tag because that is where you have the advantage. That is where you have the advantage. Simple as that. And so by forcing two on the ball, one person to step over on the roll, you got to skip that to McDaniels. And it was a bad pass, so he catches it, attacks it, and gets into the rim. So I done seen too many people say that when I was talking about it was a clip I had dropped on Paulo in the pick and roll. I was talking about how he read the weak side and he was making moves because of the weak side defender. That's so dumb. I'm like, bro, if you only just read what's there, it's gonna be a 50-50 play. It's gonna be a 50-50 play every single time. So, and pay attention to this with Jokic. This is where complaining hurts you, right? Notice this. So Jokic ends up getting this rebound right here, right? Rudy Gobert on the ball. He wants that foul, but he ends up throwing this down prematurely. Michael Porter Jr. just lets that shit go. Out of bounds, turnover, right? But understand, since Jokic was so caught up with wanting that foul last time, watch what's about to happen next. Is that due to all that complaining, now you end up having to go guard like, oh shit. You have to go and match up, late communication. As a matter of fact, minimal communication to where Rudy Gobert sets the screen and you're supposed to be up. Boom, Ant gets into space and is able to get that pull-up three. So that's where complaining does get you burned. And now watch Michael Porter Jr. That's a lot of things for y'all high school hoopers, right? A lot of things for your high school hoopers, right? So a lot of y'all high school hoopers do what Michael Porter Jr. is doing, right? You try to initiate a pass from an area where you are not a threat. So your defender just backs up and takes away all the angles. But all you got to do is this. Look, you just got to get yourself in a little bit of a range so you can establish yourself as a threat and you can initiate that pass. And now Jokic got it. And now pay attention. Nickeil Alexander-Walker turns his back. He can't see both. And so what does Jamal Murray do? He cuts. And now pay attention to McDaniels. The second that McDaniels steps over to that nail, pass is fired to that weak side. You got to read the help, and you got to create advantages. And the key in those situations is movement. That one cut by Murray opened up that three for KCP. And now, they about to cook. They about to cook off this. Hold on. This is layered. This play right here is layered. This is a whole little 5-play sequence I got to show y'all with this play. It's 5 plays I got to show y'all that all embody just one play call. So pay attention, right? So now it's the start of the second half. And you got AG handoff to KCP, right? Remember that. Remember this set. Now, Jamal Murray gets this catch. You got an empty left corner, right? You got an empty left corner. Why? Because when Jamal Murray comes off the screen, you know Cat's not going to commit and leave Jokic, right? He's not going to commit. He's always going to get back. So this allows Jamal Murray to turn the corner and not worry about help until he's at the rim, but underhand with the left, he gets his bucket. First time they run that action. Now next time down, Gordon, KCP, handoff once again, and Michael Porter Jr. filling out to this corner. So now what's going to happen with this action? Still, Karl Anthony Towns is not going to want to commit to Jamal Murray. And so Jamal Murray, after getting that layup, he's feeling good. Fade along that baseline. How the hell you hit that over Cat, who's 6'10", 6'11". Jaden McDaniels getting back into play 6'10". With the length, how? The one step he took. He took one step, right? And you see Lou Will, right? If y'all watch hoops, let me even go back, right? Let me go back to the start. So if y'all really watch hoops, you'll know Lou Will does this thing perfectly, right? He's really been notorious in the mid-range for this one thing, is that when he gets here, watch Jamal Murray's left foot, right? Watch his left foot. He places that left foot wide, little outside of his frame so that he could be able to shift his weight onto that left and fade out instead of having his momentum carrying him downhill. So now he's able to shoot that going backwards and towards the side instead of trying to shoot that straight over the top going downhill over Cat. So now he's able to get that up and get that fade. Something Lou Will did tremendously. You'll see him do that shit every time going to that left side. Cooking with it, right? And mind you, the Nuggets still ain't done cooking with this. They still ain't done cooking with this. I just got to show you a couple plays from Minnesota, right? A couple plays from Minnesota right quick. And so right here, you got Mike Conley coming off the screen now. Mind you, peep Jamal Murray. What's good, Satro? What's good, Satro? Right, so now peep this, right? I just got to show y'all a couple Minnesota plays before we get back to Denver. You got Jamal Murray tying his shoe on defense. That's the one thing you never do. You never tie your shoe on defense. And what happens as a byproduct of you trying to tie your shoe and get a break on the defensive end? Ant pulls up right there and then give me that three. All right, you got 1-3, cool. All right, we're efficient in that action to start this half. All right, but now, okay, screen right there, drag, flare screen from Rudy to Cat, bucket, timeout by Mike Malone. He can't handle this. He can't do this. All right, we tripping. So what are we gonna go back to, right? Fresh off the timeout, what do we go back to? The same concept like we always know in this game of basketball. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So now Aaron Gordon, handoff KCP. Now you got Jamal Murray in this middle, denied. So now you end up getting the ball to Jokic. Get the ball over to Jokic. And now we just get into this handoff once again. And so understand this. Cat is not going to commit. He's just going to wait for Jamal Murray to slow down the slightest bit. And then he's going to get back to his. And in between that transfer from Cat to McDaniels, he finds space to then get that three off over the top. Another bucket. 3 times with the same play. They still can't guard it. They really should have ran it about 10 more times to see what they would do. Now pay attention with this. This is another thing with Jokic. So the thing with all of these great passers is that they're not always going to pass to make an assist. They're simply going to pass for the sake of gravity and being able to have an advantage. So when this pass gets thrown to KCP, that's meant to get thrown to AG. And that intention of throwing it past so that it gets to the next player that you're not directly throwing the pass to, which is why hockey assists should be tracked. And if hockey assists were tracked, Jokic might fuck around and win 5 more MVPs. They already be glazing them off of that near triple-double, but if you start throwing hockey assists in there, they about to go dummy on Jokic's meat. Pause. Pause, bro. They about to start loving him to a different degree. The Nuggets run that play in the first 2 games? Probably, but I'm not sure. I can't really remember particularly. On your Discord, I have a few that are uploaded in the workout section if you scroll up. If you scroll up, you'll see some in the workouts tab. And I be posting some on my stories, so watch my Instagram story, my IG story. Peep my IG story. I be posting some workouts on there as well. I be posting little previews, little samples type shit. So I got one up on there right now too. I got one on there right now. So pay attention, right? Pay attention with Rudy, right? Now, when it comes down to Rudy, you know he not no offensive threat. And so when he gets into this short roll and Jamal Murray picks him up, he now knows he's not going to score. So what does Jamal Murray do? He just takes away his passing lane, traces the ball, gets a hand on that turnover. That's why you need to be a scoring threat. If you can't score and you only want to make plays, it's going to make playmaking 10 times tougher because you don't have gravity. Defenders will easily be able to jump out on all the shit that you do. So you need to be able to at least score in the ranges that you're in so then you can be able to actually make plays as a byproduct of your own gravity. And now, Kat, let me talk about this. Right quick. So, notice. You got Karl Anthony Towns on Aaron Gordon. You know damn well Karl Anthony Towns is well out of his defensive range. And a lot of y'all hoopers be doing the same thing. And so when you get in plays like this, you got to learn how to play with your range and keep it a beam with yourself. Because you know you're not that quick. You know you're not that good at guarding the perimeter. So don't try to guard this far up and drop your ass back so you don't get blown by. You got to help strong side corners and you end up getting burnt. Don't get fooled by playing with more pressure when you're incapable of playing with more pressure. Don't get fooled by that. Do not get fooled. And I'll peep this here too. Notice. The only reason Ant is about to be able to tap into his bag right now is because Alexander Walker. Notice what he did. He turns away, about to set a screen. KCP also turned away. So now Ant has a freedom of choice of attacking the right side where there's no strong side help, or attacking the middle where there's fluff going on, or there's an action going on, right? So now, boom, Ant's just able to get into his bag. Spin, stop, pump fake, step through, lay right there. We playing 1-on-1 and a 5-on-5. Cooking. Now, Pete is with Kyle Anderson. Something I noticed, right? So, Kyle Anderson isn't the fastest defender in the world. We all know that. He's slow-mo. But in situations like this, his lack of speed is a benefit for him because he's not going to try and anticipate a screen and leave up gaps for Jamal Murray to be able to get left, get right, reject. He's just going to stay in front, and as a result, they're able to use their hands and they're able to force this turnover. But a pick and roll is different from an isolation, right? And so now how do you deal with someone like Kyle Anderson in an isolation situation? Someone who's a little slower, someone who's always going to kind of be a step behind. And if you get your first step and bring it back, they'll be right back into the play. How do you go against these type of players, right? How do you do it? So just in an isolation, you just keep it basic. Once you get your step, you maintain that step and you just get right by them. No waste of time, no snatchbacks, no second, third moves. Just get straight to the bucket. Shay aura breakdown on how to get his aura. Y'all need help. Y'all need to get Nas Reed's aura because this move is fucking filthy. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, right? Peep this. This is the first time ever I done seen someone do this move. Watch Nas Reed, right? He gets this catch. Off a spot up, he hit him with an in and out. That's nasty. Come on, man. Y'all got to give this credit. I haven't even seen like Kyrie do this before. And this is a big, he's 7 foot. Off the catch, single hand, boom, in and out, right hand. That's nasty. You can't tell me that's nasty. And to the leg with, come on, bro. Come on, that's nasty, bro. That's nasty. I seen that shit, I was like, and that's a big, come on, bro. But Pete this with Ant, right? Pete this with Ant. So notice. So Ant gets his catch. He sees 6'3", 6'5", 6'5", 6'4", 6'8". So what should my next move be knowing the personnel on the floor, right? This is all I got to do. Keep it simple. Delay tween. Nobody's going to stop me because you too small. Simple as that. Just get to the rim and get my bucket. 2 dunk on your head. Then what am I going to do again, right? You running the same lineup. 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 6'4", 6'8". What am I going to do, bro? Who going to stop me? That's a real question. Damn near same move. Hit him with a twin going to my right side. You got to foul me. You got no other choice. You better not put that lineup in again because he going to do the same thing every time. Get it to the rim, and no one going to stop him because you got nobody to protect the rim. And out here, too, let's talk about Jokic. We get back to Denver. Denver's about to... Everyone got their meat riding preferences. Yo, bro, I remember there's like a point where every single time I stream, someone would say they play like Shea. That shit was wild. I'm like, bro, y'all don't play like Shea, gang. It's all good. You may play probably play like a TJ McConnell, bro. People don't realize, like, they like, yo, I play like Shea. I play like Luka. Play like SGA, or whatchamacallit, and bro, you play like TJ McConnell, gang. Chill. Just hustle. Play make. Get under the rim, do that little circle shit along that baseline type shit. You gotta be honest. But Pete this with Jokic, right? So I personally play like Curry. So realistically, you're saying like y'all overestimated. So I may think you play like a Facundo Campazzo. Is that more accurate? I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just trolling. I'm just trolling, bro. I'm just trolling. All right, let's get back to this, though. Lock in. Pete this move by Jokic. So, when you decide to actually learn moves and how to do them properly, like with a spin, you'll actually get yourself in situations where you peek the ball on the outside shoulder on this spin, and you force the defender, when they do reach, to have to go through hand to then reach the ball. Boom, bucket, and one. Because he just learned how to do the move and keep the ball protected with that outside shoulder. Y'all got to start doing the same thing every time you get into a move around the rim. Defenders on this side, outside shoulder, outside hip. Keep it outside the frame so they can't reach it. And if they do reach, straight arm, straight wrist, straight forearm, whatever it might be. Campazzo a GOAT. Yo, wasn't the last team you played for like the Mavs or some shit? Wasn't that the last team you played for? But pay attention. Pay attention to this, though. Play like Taco Fall. Niggas just running, hooking shit. No jumping, nothing. But pay attention. This is what it looks like to forget the game plan. You got Michael Conley called for a screen by Rudy Gobert. Watch Michael Porter Jr. Watch Michael Porter Jr. on his weak side. Goes to his right, or goes left. Roll happens. He doesn't get to the nail, and now you got Rudy Gobert dunking on motherfuckers. Watch Mike Malone. Come on, nigga. What is he doing? Step over. You let Rudy Gobert catch a body because you didn't step over and help. One mistake like that could build momentum so much that you could lose the game. But luckily, they ain't losing. That's why he had to call a timeout immediately. He said, bro plays like Batum. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy, bro. That's kind of crazy. He in Real Madrid now. Yeah, I seen that shit when they had beat the Mavs early in the year. I ain't gonna lie, me personally, bro, if someone said I play like Nicholas Batum, that's wild as fuck. Yo, imagine coming out of high school. Like, I'm sorry, but like, keep it
with all due respect.
You come out of high school, right? You rank top 100. They're like, yo, who he play like? Nicholas Batum. Now, Nicholas Batum, he be doing his thing, great for his role, right? He be doing what he need to do. It's even while he's still old. But like, you a high school player coming up and like, yo, the fuck, Nicholas Batum? I never watched Nicholas Batum highlights. That's kind of crazy. A boring play style. Hey, but he get the job done though. He get the job done. If you get like a Nicholas Batum like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where his legs wasn't as used, I'm telling you, bro, he been doing his thing. You don't want that comparison, no cap. 2002, U London. Appreciate that sub. But I might sneeze. Hold on, I might sneeze. I don't need to sneeze. I might need to sneeze. I think it's gone though. But Pete this with Jokic, right? When Minnesota actually decides to play smart in these situations, right? So pay attention. So now, right? Notice. Jokic has the ball on his right side. Double gets called by Rudy Gobert, Alexander Walker. He's reading it. And so he turns away. And when you actually decide to take away this dunker and not have so many people step over you, forced to skip pass, he has to throw this pass over hands. And now he has to throw this pass high as shit. Try to keep it in bounds. You turn the ball over. You got to force that weak side skip. You got to. If Minnesota begins to do that and stay disciplined to it, they'll get a lot more stops. I can guarantee you that. Guarantee. He could keep the play style to himself. Well, shit. If Nicholas Batum was in modern basketball, like modern NBA, I ain't gonna lie, he'll be getting paid. Like if he was younger in this game, if he was younger in today's, if he was his younger self in today's game, he'll be getting paid. But lock in. Look, I gotta layer these next few plays. So pay attention, right? I want to talk about floaters. So the most overlooked and the most important shot that a big needs in today's game is a floater. But rarely do you see bigs go in the gym and work on floaters. All they want to do is work on the threes and step backs and all this other shit. They want to be a guard. They want to be like Wemby. But if you really just do want to make a living and actually be effective, you'll get this right here, like Jokic does, and know how to layer it like he does in his next few plays. So he sets the screen right here, right? Cat over on the show, right? But once Jokic catches this, he reads, all right, Cat, he's too close to me. Gobert, he's stepping over. So what read do I make? Skip that to the corner. Now corner goes to Christian Brown. He literally just went, don't got the floater, read the help, skip that to the corner. And now what's going to end up also occurring? Couple plays down, right? Another screen occurs. Underneath, rescreen, you go over. And now once I get this catch here, Gobert stepping over, I can get this flow. But the one thing I need to do here, adjust the touch I put on it. Notice where he puts the ball. Got to put an extra touch on that rock. Got to put a touch on that rock so you can get over the help defense. Gets that bucket. And now on this third play, right? Couple minutes later, you got a handoff here with Jamal Murray. Screen occurs. Similar to the first one that we seen. Murray going to the right side. Cat on that show. And now when Jokic gets this, Cat's all the way over here. I have room and I'm comfortable enough to get into this floater with my own pace. I don't even have to get into the space of Gobert and I get my floater. Those short rolls are a necessity. Those short roll floats are a necessity and you need it, especially if you're big. But peep this. This is something so subtle. Oh, shit froze. Hold on. This is something so subtle. Yo, what's good, Andrew? Oh, what's good, Leo? I ain't peep, but I forgot to say so. What's good, though? But peep this as well with Jokic. So, Jokic got McDaniels on him, right? And I want you to pay attention to what Jokic really does look at when he gets into the post, right? He got this catch. He's looking over that right shoulder. He turns, looks all the way over his left shoulder, sees where Cat is coming from, in case he was coming from that baseline. And so what does he now do, understanding that this double is about to come? Pause, right? He now ends up getting the ball to the middle, takes one dribble just to read Ant, and now Ant jumps out, I drop it off to AG, and we get that too. You got to know what to read, and you got to know what you're attacking before you actually go and attack. Now pay attention. I got to talk about this with Rudy. I'm sorry. I got to talk about this. I got to go full speed. Now, peep this. This is something for bigs. This is something for all bigs. So notice. This right here are 3 things bigs must stop doing. First and foremost, right here. First, moving screens. Keep your ass still. What the fuck is you moving for, right? And make sure your guard doesn't leave too early. First, right? Now the second thing, right? On rebounds, you got Gobert down here, Jamal Murray in front of him. What's the need to push him when you're already bigger than him, right? Loose ball foul. Second thing. And third, when you get the ball in the post, don't think you the strongest dude in the world. Don't think you got super strength or some shit and now you can just bulldoze your way to the rim, right? You got to be careful for this on the second bump. Pull in the chair. Boom, travel right there. Turnover. Rudy Gobert did all that in a 90-second span in the last 4.5 minutes of the game. Come on, man. Y'all got to get rid of those habits. Y'all got to get rid of those habits if you're big. Need to. It's a must. It's a necessity. Get rid of it. If you don't, you're going to cost your team a lot of valuable possessions like Rudy did right there. Last 5 minutes, last 4.5 minutes, 3 plays where you could have had the ball back or you could have had a shot off. Come on, man. At that point, you just feel defeated. What you think about having commitment and sacrifice in my best youth days to not go out and have fun with my friends and girls, not staying out late all the time to come 18, 19, realize you're not good enough? That's my biggest fear, honestly. You see, the thing with me, let me finish this last play. Let me finish this last play right quick, right? Let me finish this last play. This last clip. This last clip right here. I'm gonna give you my peace of mind on that. So, notice this as well, right? So you got Jokic with Ant. I don't know what type of ball fake that was. He was probably just fooling around, right? And now you got a double coming from Mike Conley. Give it up. So now you could end up getting the ball right back and take away that double. But even with the double coming, you got to understand where the space is, right? The space, baseline, Ant ain't take it away. At this point in the game, you practically defeated. You got no answer for Jokic, and you're cooked. So that's the end of that breakdown. And going to what you were saying, though, Leo, you said your biggest fear is to get to 18 and 19, sacrifice all the time you did in the past, and end up missing out on what would have been momentary pleasures hanging out with friends in your youth. When you begin to live and understand that you live for a purpose beyond just momentary pleasure, and also for me, let me speak in my perspective as well, is that when I was in high school and I was like, all right, should I do what everybody else does and just be chill and kind of just hang out with friends, do all this other little stuff? Or should I actually go and pursue my goal and give it my all, right? Because the one thing I couldn't live with is regret. I couldn't, being at a point where I would look back and be like, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have gave more. I could, that's one thing I can't live with. I can't live with that. And so I just had to give the game my all. Not even just from what I'm doing physically, but also the things I'm doing mentally, spiritually, and also emotionally, so I could be able to operate accordingly. So when I was in that position, I just had to really put myself in the future and think about, okay, is this what I want to live with if I don't try to become the best version of myself with this one thing I do love, right? Because a lot of people get it twisted. They lust for success. Meanwhile, someone like me loved the game and loved the success that I would want to get with it. Because that lust is just a simple want for the moment, but the love will be sustained forever. And so, for me, it was like, okay, I gotta see how far I can get with this. 1, and 2, I had an undoubtable. I had supreme belief in myself when I was going about my journey. When I was hooping, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get my offers. I'm gonna go to college, and I'm gonna end up making the league at some point, right? I was just saying, I'm gonna be a number 1 pick, or I was gonna make the league at some point. And once I got there, I was gonna stay there. And there's still that belief in me to where it was like, if I didn't get onto the path I was on right now, I would still accomplish that goal. As much as y'all be like, nah, you wouldn't do it. I know how I live. I know my habits. I know how hard I work. I know what I do on a day-to-day basis. And I know I'm outworking 99.9999999% of people. So when you accumulate all of those factors, when I was at that point, I couldn't live with regret. And so I just had to simply sacrifice that stuff and say, I got to focus on me and not think so hedonistically about the pleasures of the present and understand what I want to become, because this is just simply a small part of life, but it's some of the most important, because what you're able to build from it. what you're able to get from it, especially in your youth years when you're not worrying about paying bills, or you're not worried about all this other stuff that come with being an adult. You have the freedom to be able to go and pursue a dream that you have and be able to build towards it right now while you're still young, while not worrying about all these other things. So it's a perfect opportunity to be able to do so. But a lot of people get caught up in the, damn, what if I don't do it? What if I this? What if I that? But that just shows that that's an internal war you gotta fight. You gotta be able to prove it to yourself. You can stay committed and disciplined to it, and make your decision. Because once you make your decision, be able to live with it. Don't debate it. Live with it, and don't try to say, oh, I should have did this, I should have did that, could have did this, could have did that. Don't be one of those. Don't be I'd have did this if I did that. I did this, I did that. Like, don't be one of those people. So that's my 2 cents when it came down to that, man. I couldn't live with that regret. You get to meet people in the process of driving the ball down the court. Is it exhilarating? It changes for everybody. Everyone's perspective changes. Like, my love for the game comes in the process of learning. There should be a balance in the things that you find to make you happy to try to make that bridge work. That's my life philosophy. There definitely does need to be a level of balance. Let me even say this, because Loki, I need to get going for the rest of my day. But life, let me say this. I learned this the other day. I learned this maybe last week. But life and seasons should have a balance, but in moments it should have a focus. Meaning, when you focus on something, you're now sacrificing other things, and everything as a whole won't be in balance, right? Because when you want to look back at life cumulatively, right, as a whole, it will balance out in all these different aspects. But in order for you to grow in these certain manners, right, in order for you to grow in these certain manners, you must focus on a certain thing, and you must sacrifice spending time with friends, spending time with family, or there will be another season in your life where you may end up focusing on friends and family more so than your own craft and what you're building. So for me right now, I can even tell y'all right now, I'm on go mode right now, right? Like, I've been on go mode for the past seven years, where I just been, like, when I was in high school, hooping every day, 2 times a day, 3 times a day. Then once I finished hooping, I ain't stopped working out. I still work out every single day. And even after I work out every single day, I'm still building what I'm doing here. I'm editing my own clips, editing my own videos, thumbnails, all this stuff. Doing the Patreon stuff as well. I'm doing all of it, right? I did all of it. And another big time decision I recently just made, I've even told y'all this, I just dropped out of college. You talk about betting on yourself. I just bet on myself. I could have took more classes, got my degree, boom, couple more years. But I said, this shit is gonna work. This shit is going to work. This shit is gonna happen. All the things I envision is going to happen. Not even just a small little milestones. 100K subs on YouTube, whatever it might be, making this much amount of money, getting this many members, boom. I just dropped out. I know this shit gonna work. I'm gonna make this shit work. And that's the way my brain works. And I'm gonna make sure I reap the fruits of my labor, because I'm committed to exactly what I'm doing. So, yeah, ultimately, like, you got to bet on yourself. I'm betting on myself. Right now, I'm in that mode to where I'm not spending a crazy amount of time with friends and family. I do have times, of course, where I do talk to my brothers. My circle is crazy small, right? My circle is dummy small. Like, my closest friend, I've known him for like 6-7 years. I've known him for like more than maybe known him for like 9-10 years. Any other friends I have are like the closest friends of my brothers, and then even outside of that, I just have my cousins who are close family. Outside, like, really beyond that, it's like I'm just out here honed in on myself. Like, there's probably people I'll talk to on a month-to-month basis, maybe less than 10 people, 8 people ish. Honestly, like, maybe like my family, 5 people. My cousins, I don't talk to them like every month, but then I'll say one of my homies I talk to, boom, maybe 7-8 people I talk to on a monthly basis. Monthly, not talking weekly, maybe monthly. I'll say 8 actually, because my barber is another one of my closer friends. So about 8 people. So I ain't really out here just fucking around and see me here, seeing me there, just trying to do things. Like, nah, I'm locked in. I got shit to build. I got things that I got to do. Do you like College Dropout? Kanye, one of my top 5 favorite artists. That's Kanye, one of my top 5 favorite artists. Latira, thank you. Hey, Leo, you got to make a choice. You got to make a decision. Just make a choice. And once you make that choice, don't debate it. Live it. Live it. You got to just live it at that point. Good luck. Hey, I don't need no luck, man. I got God on my side, man. I got God on my side. I guess God gonna bring me some of that luck. You know what I'm saying? He gonna help me materialize everything I need to do. Show me what I need to do. Don't you want to have fun though? Like you take your time to build a relationship and stuff like that. I know it's a waste of time, but isn't enough where life is spicy. Be honest. Don't you want to get a girl sometimes, or you just suppress the urge? It's not a suppression of the urge. You got to understand what's love and what's lust when it comes down to your libido, right? Which is just your sexual energy. And understanding that a lot of those behaviors, when it comes down to, I want a girl at this moment or that moment, a lot of that is lust. And I made a decision. I don't want any lust that deals with my libido, right? That deals with anything that's sexual. So for me, it's like, okay, I understand what that is. And that lust, when it comes down to that, is a distraction from my path and my purpose. That is a work of the devil. Lust. I'll tell you that. It's always a distraction. It's a hedonistic pleasure. It's not gonna lead you to your purpose and what you got to do on a day-to-day basis to get to where you're here to be, to ascend to your highest level of self, to your zenith, spiritually. So that's always going to be a distraction. And so when you understand that, what side do you choose? Love or lust? When it comes down to that, love is something that's sustained and that's maintained, and that's gonna take a while. But you'll never know when it's gonna come your way. It's only gonna be there when you prepare for it. And once you've been able to win those battles with lust, win those battles with the devil, once you're able to win those battles, then you could be able to step into where you have love that's actually able to push you into purpose. So that's the way as to which I see it now. Made a decision, okay, I ain't gonna step into that lust shit. I ain't gonna fuck around with that other shit. So it's like, it's not a suppression. At times it was a suppression because I didn't understand the concept. But understanding the concept, it's no longer suppression. And it's a way as to which I think. And you must change the way you think to change what you receive. So, anything else in there? Also, I think there's one more thing I want to say. I do like have times where I'm able to step away. It's not like I'm literally just sitting here all day 24/7 and not able to kind of find something that's able to allow me to step away for a brief second. But for the most part, like, I'm up like 17 hours a day. I would say 12, like not even maybe like 12 of those hours I'm really locked in, like doing something really purposeful with my own thought. And then I may watch an episode of a TV show. That's an hour. But now I ain't gonna lie, my habits have changed crazy. Like if I were to show you all my habits and what I do, like top to bottom, like I've hardly indulged in any form of entertainment because my pleasure and enjoyment lies within seeking knowledge and growth. That shift has happened in very recent, like maybe the past couple of weeks. And now it's just about me being able to remain consistent in the ways I think, so I could also be consistent in the ways I act. And so you may be like, yo, that's stressful, that's strenuous, but it's a joy I get from the growth, from the process. And so you may see it as, oh damn, I can't do it, but it's levels to it. Like you got to take it step by step. You don't have to immediately step into like my routine where I'm gonna go eat my dinner, probably watch an episode of a TV show, and then right after that go right back to reading for the last 2-3 hours of my day. Right, go back to reading, learning, editing, posting, like doing shit like that. That's directly catered to purpose. And even when I do watch a TV show, by the way, I make sure shows have parables and they're also good, and I can think about them. Right. Ultimately, my biggest thing right now is increasing my independent thought, my ability to think for self. And so that's been my biggest thing. And so once you understand that, once you're able to control what you think, you control all that as to what you do, right? And you could really make logical decisions and not emotional decisions like lust, like we just talked about. And so once you're able to control that thought, the power is all yours. The power is all yours. And so that's been my biggest thing at this point. So there's something else I wanted to get to. Also, yeah, I was gonna say, in terms of having fun and like kind of stepping away from things, I do get. This is the first summer, by the way. This is the very first summer where I'm actually traveling and doing things outside of this. Literally, I kid you not. In the past 7 years, right? The past 7 years, the only times I've had any form of like vacation, kinda, was two things I did. I went to Rolling Loud in 2021, and I worked there, and I was able to kind of go there for free and be able to experience and go to concerts. That was the year I was going into my freshman year of college. That was one, and then two, I went to Louisville in 2022 in the summer so I could go see my cousin's graduation, right? Two things I did in the past 7 years. Now, mind you, I think back on it now, it's like, how the fuck did I do that? But I fucking did it, and I'm here where I am now, and I wouldn't trade anything to be anywhere else, right? So sometimes you just got to get through it. Like, I was able to just kind of get blank and just do shit. And so this summer though is the first time I'm actually going out and probably gonna do it consistently. And next weekend, speaking of it, from Friday, I'm probably gonna miss next Friday stream and probably Monday stream, because I'm going to see my other cousin's graduation, and they're in Kentucky, and we're driving there, and I'm from Orlando, and that's a 14-hour drive. So I gotta go there, come back. I'll try to stream Monday if I can, but if I can't, just know I had to slide there. And then also I have a vacation later at the end of the month. I'm going to Mexico. So that's literally going to be my first vacation. It's going to be my first vacation. Like really ever. Like I ever said, let me put some money to this. Let me go somewhere else. Let me do my first one. My first one in my whole life. Really. My whole life, really. So it's like, okay, I'm at this point. I'm 20, about to be 21. And I have the flexibility to be able to do so. So, yeah. Do you fuck with K-Dot? K-Dot probably in my top 5. Let me see where I was at. I done missed a lot of questions, and I'm low-key. Y'all lucky I'm going overboard right now. I really should already be in my dinner. Maybe my little chicken sandwich, get some vegetables, get some rice and beans. You know what I'm saying? But fuck it. Where Mojo, you had said once that Find Your Play style, you shouldn't watch someone that you like and try to mimic them. But if you don't watch plays, boom, then you send another message. Hey Mojo, go watch my last VOD, the start of my last VOD. I'm pretty sure go watch the start of my last VOD. I talked about that. Go watch the start of my last live stream. Go watch that. Go watch it. Where else is this at? Where did I miss? I don't do that because I just like talking to people and building relationships. I think I'm good at breaking the balance so I can still focus. Mind you, we all work different. We all click different. And essentially there's going to be commonalities, but when you really listen to self, and you at a certain point there will be a voice talking to you, telling you that something's got to change at certain points of time. You got to listen to it. If you know what you're doing is wrong, how do you stay so disciplined? I got a vision. You operate according to vision. You operate according to purpose, and you understand what you're building to. It makes all the actions in the present a lot easier. And that's something I get lost with sometimes and just think too presently. But when you're able to tap into that third eye, you know what I'm saying, that sixth chakra, be able to understand where you're headed to, what you want to do, and be able to like almost transcend yourself, then it's like everything I do now has purpose and meaning and holds weight, and I'm excited because I know where this is going to lead me to. So when I operate according to vision and what I want my life to look like and what I'm here to do and have that understanding, it makes my moments and that discipline a lot easier. And then being within the process, you got to find little ways to be able to kind of trick yourself and manipulate yourself to really enjoy what you're doing. So like if I'm editing, like I'll find the littlest thing within the edit to get myself excited for and be like, ooh, what is this? What if I do this? Or what if I do that? Or how is this going to turn out if I try this? Or, you know what I'm saying? That experimentation is what I should say. Ball building my character, personality, and score my main focuses. Ball building character's personality. I mean, I would say building character, not necessarily building personality, because as you just begin to learn yourself, you'll build a personality that's according to who you are. You could operate authentically. But that's not too much. If it's basketball, character, and school, then that's not much. That's how I practically was for 6 years until I just dropped out. So, how are you so consistent? Any tips? Same thing. Like how I'm able to stay disciplined, how I'm able to stay consistent. Operate according to that vision. Operate according to vision. Instead of operating according to the present, and Because if you try to think too presently, you'll also be getting to think too hedonistically. If you don't know what hedonistic is, just search it up or whatever. But it's like for like earthly pleasures, essentially. Like you'll wanna go and get a bunch of girls. You don't want to go out and party, go and have fun, and not have to worry about tomorrow and what the future is gonna build to. So yeah, if you think too presently, you gotta have a vision for what you want to do, and that's gonna be able to fuel. I always say this. I say on purpose. I'm purpose driven, but vision fueled. Meaning, like if you think an aspect of a car, what I'm here to do is what's gonna guide me, and then my vision for what I'm going to become is what's gonna propel my actions and be the fuel to my car to get me to where I need to be. So I need to actually be able to visualize and be able to imaginate, right? Be able to use that third eye, that eye imagination, so I can know what I want to build towards. So, yeah. Let me see. I played as big man for a while, but soon I want to play in high school. I want to play in high school where I want to be able to play center. How do I transition my game? I would say two things. Start strength training in low ranges, right? Learn how to start training low so you can be able to play lower. And then learn how to shoot. If you learn how to shoot, you automatically get moved to the perimeter. Stream in a car? Nah, bro, I got to slide, bro. We're going to be out there. I'm 14-hour drive there. I'll be gone I got to leave like Tuesday. My last stream will be the next Wednesday, and I'll be gone for that Friday and maybe that Monday. I'll try to get a stream in on Monday, but I'll be on the road like from Sunday evening to Monday morning. And if I could watch a game and stream, I'll try it. You straight up a stoic, bro? Hey, bro, I'm telling you, I'll be dabbling in philosophy, man. Call me philosophy. Call it philosophy. But where am I at? Would hinder my basketball career? I mean, you got to listen to self, man. You need to have a conversation with self. I'm not here to make your life decisions for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to listen to self. I can't tell you which way to go, but I would say you need to start thinking for yourself. Like literally sit in a room by yourself for like an hour and let all your thoughts come up and think through them. You need to learn how to think. That's the most powerful thing you have, your own thought. Your own thought is the most powerful thing you have, but in a world where there's so much external stimulus, we are stripped of our ability to think independently. And that's the main purpose of all this shit that's going on around us, to stop you from thinking, right? Because the less you stop thinking, the more you're able to give into these other corporations that are able to take advantage of your distraction and your inaction, right? So like you'll begin to eat unhealthy, you eat fast food, and now you'll also want to do all these hedonistic things and also feed into all these like guilty pleasures and whatever it might be, and all this shit that surmounts to nothing. So yeah, you need to be able to think for yourself. I don't want to even go too on a ranger for that, but I'm trying for how do you stand out to the coach? Be the loudest person in the gym. H2, be the loudest person in the gym. Because I have a tight schedule, and so they don't take me seriously. You think it matters how you present yourself to others? Because I feel I'm overall a goofy person, nice and transparent. Does it matter how you present yourself? You should only present yourself according to who you are. You should be authentic at all times. You should not want to try to impress people. That's the one thing you should never try to do, impress. Like try to be there and leave an impression on them and be something that they like, because that's signaling you're a people pleaser, right? If you're trying to leave an impression according to what someone will think of what you do, you're now not operating authentically. And at least for me, authenticity is in my top 5 core values and beliefs. And so I could not try to go and be something I am not. I'm going to always go do something and be exactly who I am. And exactly as much as to I know of self. So never try to stand out. Never try to impress. Just simply be you. Right? To be you to as much as if you know yourself. So that's why I always tell y'all the journey of self-discovery is extremely important. You must know thyself. You can't have an aesthetic upper body and an athletic lower body. You can't have a bodybuilder upper and then a jump like LeBron legs. Like it just won't work. Your body is a body for a reason. It's all connected. Oh, you thinking about it? Oh, yeah. how you feel. I have one character. You saying characters like it's a TV show. You're saying characters like you got like you it's Lego Star Wars and you hit up on the or like hit right button or left button or some shit and you just go change from Obi-Wan Kenobi to Qui-Gon Jinn. Like you you can't, it don't work like that. You just be yourself. You know what I'm saying? You just be yourself. It's not like you can't fucking just flip and be like, oh, I'm being this. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Like just be. You know what I'm saying? Simply just be. Just simply be. You know what I'm saying? Like don't try to think so hard about it. You know what I'm saying? Just be. That's all I can say. Get your food now. Yeah, I gotta slide out. That shit 6:30 right now. This shit 6:30. About to go watch Fallout right quick. And I'm gonna be live again on Wednesday. We're gonna see what's cooking up on Wednesday, what type of shit happened in the past couple of days. But make sure that you sacrifice your present self and invest into your future self. And do everything you need to do to get to where you're here to be. So discipline or regret. You choose.